All right, so you wake up one day and you realize this world has gone absolutely nuts and you guys want to get yourself a new thunder stick. In this video, I want to talk about what's a good option for a good first handgun. Today's going to be about handguns and what type of handgun do I recommend for your first handgun. Let's get started. Crack this puzzle, we need to break it down into what's the purpose of the gun. Is it going to be for home defense only? Is it going to be for concealed carry? Do you want to get it for the outdoors and carry it out in the woods, on hikes, on camping trips? Or are you looking just to get started and you just want to plink and target shoot so you can get used to it? So let's cover those 4 topics and narrow it down to what type of firearm. But I want to remind you guys that today isn't about exactly what gun you should buy. We'll talk about that in next week's video. I'll actually give you some recommendations. But today we're going to talk about what type you should be looking at. So if your intention is for purely home defense, now you don't plan on taking this gun out of the house. It's going to live either inside a safe, in the dresser. I'm going to recommend a full-size 9mm handgun. Now the reason I say full-size, so you're at a gun store and you're looking at the gun shelf and you see all these cool little pocket concealed carry guns, like these little cool pink ones and blue ones, you know, fancy gimmicky colors. But then you see some of these big intimidating looking guns, these full-size Glock 17s, Berettas, all these big guns. Natural thought, without really understanding the mechanics, is, okay, so you have a small gun, must feel like a smaller recoil. These big guns are intimidating. So it's a big gun, so I think probably kicks a lot. Not necessarily, and it really depends on what round they're shooting. So let's say you have a base point of a 9mm. All these guns shoot the same round, right? Small one shoots a 9, big one shoots a 9. That small one's gonna recoil a heck of a lot more than that big one that shoots a 9. The small one has tighter springs, so it's going to be harder to rack those slides back. You are eating up that recoil versus the weight of the gun and the larger springs on the larger guns. Since that gun is so small and there's not a lot of movement in those small guns, your wrist is going to take up that extra recoil that we're talking about. Whereas when you have a full-size gun, that slide's going to travel a lot further. The springs are going to soak up a whole lot more and the weight is going to dampen that recoil impulse. When you're shooting a full-size 9mm, it's actually quite a bit less recoiling than a compact 9mm. Good example of a little gun that I would stay away from. Now this is kind of cool, but not for a first gun. So this is the Kel-Tec P3AT. This is like OG Gen 1 P3AT. It's a little single stack 380. Now here's that 380. It's basically a short 9mm. So it's a 9mm that's got a shorter case on it, lighter round, but since it's such a light package, it's actually a little snappy and not very fun to shoot, but as a backup gun, it's pretty good. Let me show you guys a quick 5 rounds. Got jam. There we go. All right. You know, in the end, it's just a really snappy gun, even though it's cute. It's small, you say, oh, that might look good in my sassy satchel. Nah, I would stay away from this as a first gun. Now, this is a full-size gun. This is a Beretta M9A1. It's a full-size Beretta. It's big and it's kind of intimidating looking. The bigger the gun, the more recoil that gun's gonna eat up. It's big, but it's very controllable, and that's why I recommend a full-size gun as a first gun. But let's check it out. It's very soft to shoot. Home defense, full-size 9mm. And the reason 9mm, not only does it recoil quite a bit less, but 9mm is a heck of a lot more affordable. And the #1 thing you should do when you get a new gun is train with it and practice with it. And if you can afford to buy a whole lot more ammo, you know, 10 bucks for a box of 9s versus 22 bucks or 18 bucks for 45s or 40 cal, whichever, it recoils less and it's a lot cheaper. So that's why 9mm. All right, next, so outdoor carry. What do I recommend if you're gonna be hiking or camping? And again, a full-size 9mm is not a bad option, especially if you have the option to carry outside the waistband or open carry. In the woods, I like to open carry. It's quicker access to my firearms. I might carry on a chest rig, keep it out of the way so I can still put my backpack on, or I'll just keep it on my hip. Again, a full-size gun. Now this really depends on what you're trying to defend against. Are you worried about predators out there, both people and animals? A 9mm will kill pretty much anything in the lower states. Now when you're starting to go up north, you know, Montana, Alaska, where you're gonna have the big Kodiaks, grizzlies, and you might wanna look into carrying something a little spicier like a 10mm. 10mm will pretty much kill everything in the USA. So now again, 10mm, it's a lot more expensive than a 9mm, but there's tons of 10mm options out there. Now if you're looking for a revolver, 357 will pretty much take out just about everything. But again, when you're going up north to those northern states where you have the large two-legged predators, you might want to look into something like 454 Cazul, 44 Magnum, and up 460, something like that, or like a hunting revolver. So, but in the end, if you're just talking about defending yourself, when you have a 10mm, you get capacity and you get power, and that's important. And the recoil, again, isn't that bad if you have a full-size handgun. Now before we continue the video, I have to thank my channel sponsors. They've been supporting me for years now. I really appreciate their support. ETS, Elite Tactical Systems. They make those translucent magazines and speed loaders, and they make these guys right here, and these are my absolute favorite mags. These mags are really good, and I did some testing on them. This is why I like them so much right here. So first of all, you have your see-through mag, so you can easily see your round count. But what's nice is right here, you can see there's a steel insert right here on your mag, and then you have steel feed lips. So you get that durability of that steel metallic protection on your magazine, and then you still have the benefit of having your see-through magazine body so you can actually see your round count. I did a bunch of testing, and I actually have a durability test video I did with these mags, and we tested out all the stuff that you're going to want to see with magazines. They performed well. Shout out to ETS. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and for supporting my mission. All right, now let's talk about concealed carry. Concealed carry is a little bit different because now we have to factor in comfort and size. I can't figure out the sky today. The sun keeps coming out and messing with my exposure. Now the sun's getting hot. Go away, give me the clouds again. All right, hold on. Clouds are coming. Clouds are coming. Clouds are coming, they're almost here. All right, they're moving away now. Go away, son. I don't need you right now. I'm gonna take this into the studio and finish up. Oh, hey, there you are, you're back. Good to see you. Okay, so we left off on concealed carry. So, good option for concealed carry. Like I said, I talked to my buddy, Black Diamond Josh. He had a good opinion, and it's really carry the biggest gun you can comfortably carry. A lot of this depends on your body size. Are you thick? Are you thin? I like to carry in like the 1 to 2 o'clock position appendix carry. So personally, that's the most comfortable. If I need to sit down, I just loosen my belt a little bit. It loosens up the holster, but the holster is still attached to my belt. I can sit, squat, no problem. What I would recommend for a concealed carry is probably gonna be a compact 9mm. That's gonna be like your Glock 19 size, and I'll show you guys an example of a compact size right here. And here's another good recommendation. Now this one's actually a TSOS PX9 Duty 2.0. This is actually like a full-size gun, but they consider it compact because it has a shorter slide. What's really cool is the grip is nice and big, so there's a lot to hold onto. These Turkish imports come with tons of accessories to go with your gun as well. So this actually came with a holster, came with a detachable mag well, and all these back straps and side plates right here on the grip, these grip panels, they're all interchangeable. So what's really cool about this one is it's optic ready, so you can actually put an RMR optic on it. It has a big old comp cut right here, giant port, kind of cool. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of this one too. Very comfortable enough. Recoil is something you're worried about. What's really cool is a lot of guns come with these comps now. You can see there's a comp cut on the slide, and then the barrel, there's a big old comp chunk taken out right there. That helps with your recoil mitigation as well. So something about that size, or even smaller. So you have the micro compact, subcompact, compact, and then full size. Now compact is probably going to be your most common gun out there. Those are your Glock 19s, and if you're 40 cal, your Glock 23s, your Springfield Echelon 4.0s. So those are all your compact guns. I like to carry that size if possible. If I'm wearing something that's a little bit tighter, I'll probably carry a micro compact, but there's only one micro compact I carry, and there's kind of like an off size between, but this is the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. It's a 380, extremely thin profile. It's tiny. This is considered probably a pocket pistol or a micro compact. Now this guy is a bit of an exception. Again, this is another micro compact 380, but this is the new Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. They did some magic with this gun where it's actually pretty comfortable to shoot. It feels like a lot bigger of a gun than it really is. So if you're looking for a CCW, this is actually not a bad option. It's tiny. Capacity is twice of what that Kel-Tec P3AT is. It's a double stack 380 ACP. Again, very small. You can fit it anywhere and pretty comfortable to shoot. It's actually really fun to shoot, which is cool. The 380 is actually quite a bit more expensive than 9mm. Otherwise, my most common daily carry is probably the 365 XL or 365 Macro. Now that those are kind of like the in-between size. It's like not a micro compact, not quite a subcompact. It's probably closer to subcompact at that point for your CCW 9mm. And then the biggest gun you can comfortably carry. The best thing you could do is go to a range, rent a bunch of different guns, try them out, see what fits for you. But your micro compacts and your subcompacts are going to be easier to conceal. A general purpose gun, and this is where most people fall in the category, because a lot of people ask me, you know, they know I do gun content online, so they ask me, Steve, what would you recommend for a first handgun? We want to get one. My questions would be, what's your purpose? And a lot of times that answer is, I don't really know, I guess, like home defense and, you know, maybe carrying. I'm like, do you want a CCW that gun? They're like, yeah, you know, eventually. General purpose gun. Again, we're going to jump into the compact size. The cool thing about a compact is you have all the benefits of your full size gun. It's a little shorter. Your grip's typically going to be a little shorter as well, so there's a little less to hold on to, but it's still a relatively large gun for a 9mm. Again, this video is just kind of trying to gear you guys towards what's a good first handgun you want to get. Last category is going to be plinking and practicing and just getting into it. If you just want to go out there and you just want to start trying to shoot, start trying to punch paper, pop cans and stuff, 22 is the way to go. It's extremely cheap. You can get full-size bulk packs of 500 rounds for the cost of 2 boxes of 9mm. So you can shoot that 22 all day for relatively cheap. You can really practice the fundamentals, practice your safety fundamentals. 22 is actually a really good option. Now, would I recommend carrying a 22 for self-defense? No. Can you carry a 22 for self-defense? Of course you can. Typically with 22 and a lot of rimfire cartridges, reliability is a big issue. A lot of times you squeeze the trigger, nothing happens, or you get a little stovepipe, jam, failure to feed, failure to eject. I don't trust them simply for the reliability aspect, not even so much the power. So, but yes, if you're looking just to get something to start tinkering with, I'd recommend a 22 is a pretty good option. Whether it's hammer fired or striker fired, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect me either way, whether it's hammer or striker fired. Now I will say, keep in mind, breakdown and cleaning is something that you should consider. It's important when you guys decide which gun you're going to get and you get that gun, you have to learn how to break it down, how to maintain it. Not only do you have to break it down to keep it clean, it actually teaches you how things operate. When you start breaking your guns down, you're like, oh, okay, that's a floating barrel. The barrel comes out, here's your recoil spring, all that stuff will pop out. You'll see how it comes out, how it needs to go back in. It helps you diagnose your problems and your failures in the field. So whatever gun you guys decide to get, make sure it's relatively easy to break down and clean. Now, I'm not saying popping all the pins out and blowing the trigger apart and all that stuff. No, you just have to be able to detach the slide from the frame, pop the barrel out and the recoil spring out. If you can get those things out, you're in pretty good shape. Hope this helps you guys out. In the next video, we're going to talk about actual guns I recommend, good home defense guns and stuff like that, ARs that you can get into, things like that. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys later.